Hello everyone, and you're watching Bitcoin Bubble News Channel. Just a quick note about the weekly chart today. Besides the longer term charts, we're also going to look at the shorter term charts and focus on them. We will also look at Ethereum on the daily chart, the 4 hourly chart, and the 15-minute chart. Right now, I'm going to tell you what I think about Bitcoin. In the past 24 hours, Bitcoin has been doing something very interesting. I should say that there is a support or resistance zone in this area that you can see in red. We've tried to flip it, and in the last 15 minutes we haven't been able to break above that zone. In fact, we've gone down. Let me tell you what really needs to be kept for Bitcoin to stay healthy, because Bitcoin, as you may know, has a great chance here. The weekly chart shows a falling wedge shape, which gives it an opportunity. It also has an opportunity because for the first time in 6 months it might be able to make a higher low. If we see a bounce here into a higher high, that could turn into an upwards trend. With an upwards trend within a declining channel formation, that will eventually lead to a breakout, which will start a new bull market. So it's a very interesting time, and we talked a lot about this yesterday. Even though this is our chance and our chance to do something, we're still cliff living. Not to mention that the price here in the last 15 minutes has not been very encouraging. So I just need to let you know what's going on. We're going to do that right now. The video will only last a short time. Before we start, I want to let you know that I promote Being X and BytuneX on this YouTube channel. You can find my referral links in the summary and pinned comment below. Those links will let you sign up. Also, if you use those links to sign up, you'll get a 15% discount on all trade fees on that exchange for life. Global non-KYC for both of them. They've both never been hacked, and you can sign up from anywhere in the world. Pick what you want there. The links are below. Let's get to the stuff. The Bitcoin weekly chart is very important right now, as I just said, so I won't spend too much time going over it again. We know for sure that Bitcoin is in a channel shape that runs down. That's the big picture right now. Our macro support zones are shown on the screen as a bunch of yellow lines. You can stop the video and look at them if you want to. If all of those break along with the channel, it's pretty much over. What will happen if the channel breaks up? The bull market is back, plain and simple. It's not just about Bitcoin, it's also about the business as a whole. And there's a lot of doubt in the big picture of the economy. Luckily, that will be cleared up when the Form C makes its decision in 7 days. The RSI is the most important part of the weekly chart though. On the weekly RSI chart, we can see a falling wedge shape. We can see that we're at the very bottom of that wedge, which means we can't go down much more. Okay, especially on a light close every week. It's also interesting, since the price chart seems to be telling us the same thing. Right. These yellow lines I showed you, especially the one that goes backwards from 2018, were the bottom of the last decline we saw. This is the line from 2018. You can see that the daily candle closed right on top of that line and the support zone for the channel. This means that the bottom was reached by that line and the channel. This is what kept Bitcoin from falling even further and creating a bear market. In just 1 week, there was a quick fall, but it wasn't a real long-term collapse, so we didn't go into a bear market. We couldn't do that because of that yellow support line and the channel itself. If we look more closely, you can see that the yellow support line has been very important during this recent drop. We've jumped up and down below it a few times, which is normal for lines that have been standing backwards for 6 years in 2018. They're not perfect, but they still work as support resistance. You can see that it still served as resistance even though we jumped above and below it. It was still a very good line when we got back above it, even though it was resistance. We went below it, quickly flipped it, then went back above it and flipped it for support. Finally, we bounced up here. We went after the resistance zone closest to us, which was at 58K and needed to be broken. We didn't quite break that level, as you can see if we zoom in even more. In fact, we tried twice, right? We tried this way. That's what I used to make the movie yesterday. I told you it would be great if we tried again. We tried again, but sadly that time it happened during a bearish divergence and falling volume in an upward trend. And it was always going to fail. It looks like Bitcoin did not break wide. Then I'm making a video at midnight right now, which is what I was waiting for today and why I didn't make one earlier. It took me longer to make a movie than planned because I wanted to see if this would hold up under pressure. It didn't. And as I'm making this video, we have now fallen below the 56K support zone. We will now be going back down to this yellow line. From 2018, this yellow line went all the way back to the bottom of this chart. It led to the bottom of the daily candle and then to support and resistance over here for a couple of weeks. I think we will try that zone again, and I really want that zone to hold. What if it doesn't hold? We could be in for some trouble because, as we just said, Bitcoin doesn't have much room to go down. In case we fall below that 2018 line, it could be that the RSI is in a bad spot or that it takes a little longer. That might not be possible until the bottom of the channel is broken. But these lines are all pretty much in the same spot. It's the RSI. The 2018 line is 55K. The channel bottom is 53K. And the line is still from October. I'll zoom in on this one so you can see it better. Just a little bit lower at 52K right now, or 51.5K. It looks like these key macro lines are all in the same spot. We'll go down and test these macro lines again now that we've lost this short-term support zone. Sorry about Bitcoin, I haven't changed my mind about it in a long time. Just letting you know what's been going on. In the end, I still come to the same opinion. We're still very close to a cliff. We're still very close to a cliff. We're still not safe and sound. Things still don't look good. In fact, there is a new breakdown here on the short term, which means that when the next weekly candle closes, we will once again be under the pump. We really can't lose that RSI wedge on the weekly chart. And it looks like the weekly candle close will be another nail biter. In that case, let's keep our fingers crossed for Bitcoin. The exact same story with the exact same ending on Ethereum. Ethereum is up against a line of support that it needs to break in order to keep going up. Another thing that it shares with Bitcoin is an RSI falling wedge on the weekly chart. Also, if we look at the daily chart again, Ethereum had a support zone that it was able to move above, which is now where it is. We can zoom in on that and see it in the shorter term picture below. It would be easy to see, but just like Bitcoin, Ethereum will be falling to retake its important support zone. Hopefully the same thing will happen with the total market cap of all cryptocurrencies. We failed to break through a falling resistance line to the upside, and it's now likely going back down to support, so it will be another busy week for cryptocurrency. These days, it seems like the tension never ends. That's all I have to say. Get ready for a busy week ahead. This coming week is going to be very intense, but don't let that scare you too much. At the end of the day, just because the market is intense and Bitcoin is still under a lot of pressure doesn't mean it's over. It only means it's actually under a lot of stress. On the daily chart, for example, the stochastic RSI and the MACD are very clear. The MACD is coming in for a bullish cross, which means that there will be a lot of volatility soon, and the stochastic RSI signal line is getting close to the top of the center band, which means that there will be a lot of volatility soon again.